You plan on staying here, like living here?
I pay this rent here.
So
I don't have family here. I don't have
no.
friends here.
Hear me out. I'm just asking if you want to be here.
I want to be here in peace. Like I told her, I called the police 2 times today already. I did try to do this discreetly because, like I told her, his dad owned about 3 or 4 houses on this block. His granny lived next door. Like I really didn't want to upset him. So I called. I let the dispatcher know what was going on. I let them know that he had already threatened me twice.
I mean, at some point we'd have to come back.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. And like I told the dispatcher, like, I don't mind y'all talking to him.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be around while y'all talking.
Right. So, listen, here's what I explained to him.
Okay.
You know, you guys are adults. So, you know, you're obviously both trying to provide a safe space for your children.
I don't think so, though. Because like I told her, he's walking around the house waving his gun that I purchased. Like, he didn't start making any threats last night till he had the gun. So I told her I discounted it to the fact that he was out all day yesterday, had Taco Tuesday drinking. So, I mean, I was like, maybe, you know, if we go to sleep. But today he woke up with the same shenanigans. And everything, all of this is in front of my daughter. Like, that's the issue that I have. You say, like, we're adults trying to provide a safe space.
Well, I'm not
and
saying
he's
that.
not trying
What
to
I'm saying
create
is
that
we wanna try
environment
to-
for his
listen,
daughter or
listen,
mine.
listen. What I'm saying is, I was trying to let cooler heads prevail, rational minds prevail. And if this isn't a good situation for you, start to make a transition into
Well,
another
he cut my
situation.
credit cards off and cleaned out my bank account.
What I'm saying is, where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, I mean, maybe he could go. But I've been paying, I pay the rent here. I have receipts. I've been paying the rent here since I moved here with no help from him.
But if you're going to continue to abide here and live here,
I'm not abiding by anything. I live here and I have the right to stay here peacefully.
Yeah,
without
no,
being
listen,
threatened. I
listen,
didn't make
listen.
any threats to him. I didn't do anything to him.
yeah, hear me out. Listen, hear what I'm saying. I'm not trying to argue with you.
No, I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm just trying to make sure
If you're
you
going to be here,
understand the
and if it's not a good
situation.
situation, start making the process transition out somewhere else or do something else.
Did you make the same suggestion
I
to
told
him?
him the exact same thing.
Okay.
So,
I'm telling you.
Amid the heart-wrenching tragedy, a controversial viewpoint has emerged. It contends that Aisha Nelson's decision to remain, despite the police's recommendation to leave, played a pivotal role in the devastating outcome that claimed her and her daughter's lives. What's your verdict on this perspective? Do you believe her choice was a turning point in this harrowing narrative? Your judgment holds the key to unraveling this deeply poignant issue. In a world where the very pillars of justice and protection are put to the test, a pressing question lingers in the air. Are we truly safe when those who are tasked with upholding the law find themselves in the crosshairs of suspicion? Today, we invite you to join us on a journey that delves into the depths of a haunting domestic dispute, a case that leaves no room for ambiguity. It is a quest for answers, a pursuit of justice, and, above all, a solemn endeavor to provide solace and closure for the grieving family of 2 innocent murder victims. Eager for a deeper dive into this topic? Keep following, as we're about to delve into it more extensively. Welcome to Off the Wall Crimes, Lost Souls Edition. Hit the subscribe button and bell to be notified of more Off the Wall crime stories. Dayton, Ohio. In an emotionally charged and long-awaited statement, the family of 31-year-old Aisha Nelson and her 6-year-old daughter, Harper Monroe, have broken their silence nearly 4 months after the devastating discovery of their lifeless bodies in their Burleigh Avenue residence. The Dayton police, responding to a welfare check and multiple domestic violence calls, made the grim discovery that sent shockwaves through the community. Aisha Nelson and Harper Monroe's story is one of heartbreak and the dire consequences of domestic violence. As the family opens up about their loved ones, they aim to raise awareness about the scourge of domestic violence, which not only claimed the lives of Aisha and Harper but has left a lasting scar on their family. Keely Nelson and her daughter, Tangia, are seeking answers to a tragic incident. Keely Nelson, the mother, expressed her limited knowledge of the situation, stating that her daughter and granddaughter were fatally shot, with no additional information available.
Know is that my daughter and my granddaughter were killed. That's it. They were shot. I know nothing else.
On June 23, police body camera footage captured the response of 2 Dayton police officers to a residence on Burleigh Avenue. This response occurred just hours before the discovery of the lifeless bodies of 31-year-old Aisha Nelson and her 6-year-old daughter, Harper Monroe, in the basement of the same house. Aisha Nelson had contacted the police multiple times, expressing concerns about her boyfriend, who also resided at the Burleigh Avenue residence, allegedly threatening her with a firearm. Tragically, Aisha's boyfriend, 32-year-old Waverly Hawes, who went by the name Dante, was found deceased on the same day in Alabama, apparently due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Aisha Nelson, a devoted 31-year-old mother, is remembered by friends and family as the epitome of unwavering maternal love. Her deep affection for her 6-year-old daughter, Harper Monroe, defined her life. Aisha was renowned for her loving and caring nature, always prioritizing her family's well-being. Her dreams and aspirations were intricately woven with her hopes for her family's future. Harper, at the tender age of 6, exuded radiant curiosity and joy. Her infectious smile and insatiable curiosity made her a beacon of light, illuminating the world around her. Together, Aisha and Harper shared a profound bond filled with love and the promise of exploration, tragically cut short, leaving their community in mourning. I hold the officers accountable because if they would have done a better job with judgment, all three of them would be here, Nelson added. Nelson's family believes the entire body camera video is a cry for help. He's trying to create an uncomfortable situation for me, said Aisha Nelson, in the body camera video. So not only can I not live here peacefully, he's making it to where I can't even go peacefully. Nelson expressed her deep concern about the officers' actions, holding them responsible for the tragic outcome, asserting that if they had exercised better judgment, her loved ones might still be with us today. The family perceives the entirety of the body camera footage as a distress call. In the footage, Aisha Nelson conveyed her distress, stating that it seemed the individual involved was intentionally trying to make her life unbearable, depriving her of both a peaceful living environment and the ability to go about her life without fear. This suggests a deliberate effort to create an uncomfortable and unsafe situation for her, further exacerbating the already distressing circumstances she faced. Police explained some options to Nelson if her situation became an emergency, including the women's shelter and YWCA, but the officers left, after about a half hour at the home.
Do their job. And now Aisha and Harper are gone. It's about to be 4 months. They are no longer with us because police failed to protect them.
Dayton 247 Now's Bryn Caswell took their concerns to Dayton police. DPD sent this statement saying in part, quote, "The Professional Standards Bureau is currently conducting an administrative investigation concerning the officer's response to a call for service at 337 Burleigh Avenue on June 23, 2022.
It's not common that a welfare check results in this type of situation.
I just want to make a report, just in case anything does happen, because I'm going to protect myself.
The dispatcher says she'll send an officer to the Family Dollar. About 20 minutes later, Nelson calls dispatch back, concerned because she saw several officers rushing to another scene.
I do know that they all went to a call. As far as how long it may be that they're on that call, I don't know because I just don't have any details.
Nelson tells the dispatcher
This omission has prompted an internal investigation within the police department to determine whether these officers adhered to the established departmental policy. According to the Dayton Police Department's specific guidelines concerning domestic violence incidents, the initial actions taken by the officers appear to align with the stipulated protocol. These actions included separating the parties involved, in this case, both Hawes and Nelson, in conducting separate interviews with them. This approach is in line with best practices for managing domestic disputes, as it helps mitigate the potential for further conflict and ensures that each party has an opportunity to provide their perspective. However, a crucial aspect of the department's policy is that officers are required to document their actions by making a written statement. This written statement serves as a critical record of the incident, capturing vital details and accounts from those involved. The absence of such documentation in this case has raised concerns and has triggered an internal investigation to determine why the officers did not follow through with this essential step in the response process. The internal investigation will play a pivotal role in assessing whether the officers' actions fully complied with departmental policy and whether any deviations from the established protocol may have had an impact on the subsequent tragic events. As the investigation unfolds, the community and stakeholders are closely watching for the outcome, seeking answers and accountability in the wake of this devastating incident. She obviously doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe it, or she would not still be here sitting in the same house with her kid, said Dayton police officer Catherine Santos. The officers decided they did not have reasonable cause to believe anyone was guilty of domestic violence, which attorney Michael Wright, who is representing the Nelson family, said was a wrong, deadly decision. There was a firearm in the house. Why didn't they at least remove the firearm, said Wright.
2 lives were lost, and we're saying that a 30-day suspension is warranted and some retraining. What needs to happen is immediate termination and retraining of the entire Dayton Police Department.
This legal action is a response to the tragic incident and its aftermath, with the aim of seeking justice and accountability on behalf of the affected parties. The lawsuit is expected to address the circumstances surrounding the incident and may involve claims related to the actions or inactions of the city or its representatives in the events leading up to the tragedy. The legal process will likely involve a comprehensive examination of the case, seeking to shed light on any potential negligence or wrongdoing that may have contributed to the devastating outcome. As the lawsuit unfolds, it will be closely watched by both the local community and the broader public, as it represents a significant step toward seeking justice for those affected by this heartbreaking incident. In their quest for justice, the grieving family hopes that the individuals responsible for the deaths of Aisha and Harper will be held accountable. They call upon the community to unite in their efforts to prevent domestic violence and extend support to those trapped in abusive situations. The memory of Aisha and Harper serves as a poignant reminder of the pressing need to address domestic violence and protect those who are vulnerable within our society. Their story has ignited a public outcry for action, as the community joins hands to ensure that no other family has to endure a similar tragedy. As Dayton continues to mourn the loss of Aisha Nelson and Harper Monroe, their legacy lives on through the determination of their family to prevent others from suffering the same fate. Their story has become a rallying cry for change, urging society to confront the grave issue of domestic violence and provide a lifeline to those in need. In the wake of this tragedy, the hope is that Aisha and Harper's voices will not be silenced but will resonate through the collective efforts of the community to put an end to domestic violence once and for all. Officers had initially been dispatched to a residence in response to a call made around midnight. The call reported a dispute related to a PlayStation 5 gaming console. Dayton Police Maj Brian Johns, the spokesperson for the police department, confirmed this detail. However, no arrests were made, and after approximately an hour of addressing the situation, the officers deemed it resolved and cleared the call, subsequently leaving the scene. No arrests were made. The officers cleared the call after about an hour and left the scene, John said. The police spokesperson said that it is believed Aisha and Harper were killed later that night, between 3 and 4 a.m.
I'm not sure. I just opened the door and just screamed everybody's name. No one's there.
Aisha and Harper, the individuals involved in the initial dispute, were found dead in their home. Police believe that these tragic events occurred sometime between 3 and 4 a.m., hours after the officers had left the scene. A concerned member of the community made a 911 call requesting a wellness check during this fateful night. The caller expressed a need for somebody to visit the residence to ensure the well-being and safety of the individuals involved, although the specific details of this wellness check request were not provided. The investigation into the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Aisha and Harper is ongoing, as law enforcement authorities work diligently to uncover more information and determine the events leading up to this heartbreaking incident. Keely Nelson, the grandmother of the victim, expressed deep concern over the tragic events that unfolded. She recounted that her son had dropped off her granddaughter at the residence the previous night, but when she arrived, her son was nowhere to be found. Her granddaughter had informed her that there had been a fight between her son and Aisha. Nelson believes that the police should have taken more assertive action during their initial visit to the home. She characterized the earlier incident as a domestic dispute and expressed the opinion that someone should have been arrested to prevent further escalation. The focus of the investigation shifted to a suspect named Dante Rashad Hawes, aged 32. He was romantically involved with Aisha and had been in a relationship with her for over a year before the tragic incident occurred. However, a grim turn of events followed as law enforcement discovered Hawes' lifeless body in Falkville, Alabama. The cause of death appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound, as confirmed by Morgan County Coroner Jeff Chun. This discovery suggested that the suspect had taken his own life. Investigators, piecing together the sequence of events, believe that Hawes fatally shot both Aisha and her daughter shortly after the officers left the scene. This tragic development unfolded after the officers had cleared the initial call related to the dispute. Major Brian Johns, the spokesperson for the Dayton Police Department, revealed that the suspect did not have a criminal history that would have indicated a propensity for violence. This lack of prior violent behavior from the suspect makes the tragedy even more perplexing and devastating. The police investigation continues as authorities work diligently to understand the full scope of the events and the factors that led to this heartbreaking incident. In a recent development, an update has emerged in the ongoing legal battle surrounding the tragic deaths of Aisha Nelson and her 6-year-old daughter, Harper Monroe, on Burleigh Avenue in June 2022. The case, which was dismissed by Common Pleas Court Judge Stephen Dankoff in late May, faced multiple complaints, including allegations of wrongful death due to negligence and a failure in the duty to protect by the 2 Dayton police officers who initially responded to the distress call. However, the dismissal has not marked the end of this emotional and complex legal journey. Michael Wright, the dedicated attorney representing Nelson's grieving family, has conveyed his intentions to appeal the judge's decision. This appeal signifies the family's unwavering commitment to seeking justice and accountability for the tragic loss they endured. As the case takes a new turn, it continues to be a poignant reminder of the pressing need to address issues surrounding domestic violence and the importance of comprehensive and sensitive police responses in such cases. The community remains closely engaged, awaiting the next chapter in this ongoing quest for justice. What are your thoughts and views regarding the outcome of this judgment? Thanks for watching Off the Wall Crimes, Lost Souls Edition. I will see you in the next video.